What you're looking at here is the sunroof motor right above the driver's visor inside the headliner on a 2017 Ford Fusion. I have just replaced this motor. It was bad. I knew it was bad because it came in stuck open, and I ran the initialization procedure and that shut it, because with the initialization on this particular one, you only use the vent button. Well, that worked fine and it opened fine, but it would not shut, and you could press and press and press on the button and it would finally shut. So that told me I had a bad switch. So I replaced the switch, which is this whole overhead console here, all one piece. Did the same thing. Then a little further diagnosis, realized the motor was messed up, and that's what zapped my switch. Now, I have already tried the old switch just to make sure I didn't need a switch, and it still doesn't work, but this new one does, and it works fine with this new motor. So I know it was the motor, and I know it messed up the switch. So if you have that problem, you may want to take that into consideration. But the point of this video is the motor. The switch, if you want to replace this, you grab here and it will literally just pop loose. It's got clips up in there. It pops down, takes a good firm pull, but it'll pop down. And then there's two plugs, you unplug them, and then it comes with the whole overhead console, and you snap it back in. If you need a switch, nothing to it. That's all you do it. But if you need the motor, you got to drop the headliner down. All right, there it is. I've dropped the headliner down clearly. I can't really do it on camera, but I'm gonna show you how I dropped the headliner and what I would recommend you do. Okay, what I did, obviously this A-pillar is out from behind, the headliner is out from behind the A-pillar. It's supposed to be back up in there. I'll get to that. All right, what I did, you had a grab handle right here. Pull off these two little covers like this. There's a Torx number 20 in there. You just unscrew it. It comes right off. No biggie there. The visor anchor point, that's a Torx 20. Same over here, Torx 20, take it off. Where they differ from, say, an Explorer or an Escape, it's really the same general setup. But where it differs is the main pivot point for the visor right here, okay, that goes in there. And you see that doesn't really look like where a screw would go, right? Well, it's not. What it is you would put it into place, and you'd put this, I'm gonna leave it sitting there. It's just sitting in the hole, but you'd snap it down in there and it would fit flush right here. And then once it's in there, and obviously you plug up I don't feel like I need to say you need to plug the thing back up. And then you snap this right down in the middle of it, and that's what holds that expanded and holds it in place. All right, so to get it out when it's down in there, you got to kind of take a pick or a needle nose plier or something and pry it that way and pry it that way. I took two picks. A needle pedal and pair of needle nose would have worked better. I don't know, but I took a pick there and pulled it in, and then just kind of popped it out. You got one of those you got to hold your mouth right things to get it out, but it'll come out fairly easy. To reinstall it, you just hook this right there and just pop it in. All right. And then once it's sitting flush, you pop the little metal clip back up in there, and then pop that little plastic retaining bezel, I guess, if you want to call it. And that's all there is to it. Now, once you've undone this stuff, how do you pull the headliner down? Well, what I did, you may not want to do it this way, but what I did was I pulled right here and pulled kind of backwards, and then I pushed up right here, and that it basically folded the headliner a little bit right here. You can see it kind of trying to fold right there. Okay, so it's not a big deal. These headliner will snap. I mean, you don't want to double it over, but you can bend it enough and it pops this out from over top of the A-pillar, and then it's hanging down so I can get to the motor. All right, well, I've got a 90-degree right there drill or whatever. It's got a socket on it, and it's got 8mm screws holding it in. That is another difference between any other sunroof motor. Most of the rest of them have a Torx number 20, and occasionally you'll see a 25. This one's 8mm. Don't know why. That's what they use. Now, you could, if you're at this point right here and you've decided not to drop that side, like that grab handle and maybe that visor, if you do, you'll have a little more access. And if you don't do this for a living all the time, maybe you should do it that way. But if you're comfortable doing it my way, you pull this down, And you can reach a little ratchet up there with a short 8mm and unscrew that, unplug it, take your motor out, pop your new one in there, tighten it down, and then again, pull down right here, push up right here simultaneously. It'll push that right up, back up over top of the A-pillar. You'll need to, this right here, you'll need to pop this back up over that rubber. You always have to do that when you drop a headliner, no matter how you drop it. And then just reverse the process. You put the little retainer clip back in, your mount, which is anchor point, I guess you should call it, right there, that deal with your Torx 20 in it. Put that back up in there and put that one back up in there. And if you remove that one, same thing there. If you remove this Torx number 20 and put that back into place, don't tighten them like you're Godzilla. Just nice and snug is all you need. You don't need to be too tight. You can strip them. And once you've got that all in place, you have installed your motor and you're ready to run the initialization procedure, which I will, it's on my YouTube channel, but I'll try to link it in the description. So anyway, that is a probably slightly too wordy version of how you replace a motor on a Fusion. If, to be honest with you, the Fusion, the Escape, the Explorer, they are very, very similar. It's got basically the same setup with the motor right here over the visor, and about the only difference between this and an Explorer is you don't have a grab handle on an Explorer right here. You only have the visor mounts and you pop it down. But really similar setup, fairly easy. Somebody who knows their way around a set of sockets and some screwdrivers can do this. And hope that helps. Questions, comments, let me know. Thank you.